because you can't make a decision on something with just one trade. That's not enough data, right? You need a full data set in order to make a decision. So it's just a matter of keep putting on the trades. Even if you get a loser, you have to keep putting on trades, because that next trade could be a winner. And if you get into a trade, let's say GBP GPY, let's say you get into the short, you got into the short, next day or 2 days after the signal disappears, that's okay. It's just the algo recalculated. It doesn't mean that the trade is now invalid. Trading, what people now learn in the dojo in let's say 3 months or 2 months, even 1 month, it took me almost 5 years. So everything I've learned in 5 years, I've condensed into this training. So a lot of people, they think they do everything correctly, and then they're getting no results, and then they're wondering why this thing isn't working. Hey guys, welcome to the weekly Q&A. If you're new, the weekly Q&A, we go over strategy mode. Any questions you guys have, we'll go through those. So like always, if you guys have questions, put them into the chat box, and then from there we can go through everything. So primarily we want to cover strategy mode trades. If there's any questions about the strategy, how to execute, stuff like that, that's really what we want to help. X mode requires a lot more details. So we can go over some of the basics, but really there's already a lot of videos out there that talk about it. So, but if you guys have any specific questions about any trades, what you should do, if you are confused, overwhelmed, don't know where to go, or you just started with BFT, you have some questions, put those into the chat. It looks like we're just hitting the entry here on GBP GPY, which is nice. So about to hit entry in this. USD CAD looks like it's going down into entry 2. Let's have a look at gold. Gold is pushing up. Oil pushed up a bit today. So have had a pretty big bounce on the short. So we'll see what it does over the next few days. What I like about this is we do have this lower high. So if we look at oil, this here was a high. We could see it went down and up, and then this lower high failed to close above a previous high, which this makes a lower high. It's a lower high, but it's not a fully confirmed low high. In order to make this a fully confirmed low high, we need to break the previous low. So once we got that, once we got a break below here, below this price point here, then we can see retest and then go to TPs. So next thing we need is a break of this previous low. We failed to break above a previous high, which is nice. So now we're just waiting for price to go down. We might just be retesting kind of trend here, we'll see. But yeah, hopefully we can see another close below a short and then down to a TPs. GBP JPY just got triggered, so if you got that one set up, you might have one entry now. I'm not quite sure if it's there yet. It looks like there's a one entry here already on GBP JPY. USD CAD, we might see USD CAD coming in this week too. Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Q&A. If you guys have any questions about BFT, about the strategy mode, anything you guys want to know or learn on how to trade a strategy, put those into the chat box. If you guys are new to BFT and you just joined within the last week or last 2 weeks, make sure to download the handbook. You can access the handbook if you just go to the global chat, you type in handbook, Grace will send you the link, and then just download that. It gives really very detailed kind of step-by-step on how to trade a strategy. So if you're new, that's an important book to have. Are you able to do the 50-minute time frame? For the 50-minute time frame, you're gonna have to use the X mode. So the strategy mode only works on a daily time frame. If you want to trade the 50-minute, you have to use X mode, and that's where you have to come up with your own plan and strategy to trade. But X mode gives you kind of the levels in the market. So if you already know how to trade, if you're a consistent trader already, then X mode you're gonna love because it really makes things easier. But if you're just new and you just join BFT, I really suggest you guys stick to the daily time frame just to get an understanding of the way kind of all methodology and stuff like that. So if you're new, stick to strategy mode. X mode is not going to leave. You will keep access to that, but just to make your life a little easier, it's always good to start off with strategy mode. Once you're consistent with strategy mode, then you can turn on X mode on the daily and start working with X mode using your strategy mode trades. But yeah, so that's kind of the process you should be going through. I suggest start with the daily time frame, strategy mode. Once you got that down, turn on X mode. Learn how these daily trades are put together, and then slowly you can go into the lower time frames. Let's see if we got any new trades that came up today. I went through the list yesterday, but you never know. If you guys missed it, every Sunday or every Monday we release a weekly market review where we go through current trades. So make sure to watch that too. It helps a lot if you're new to avoid repeated trades and stuff like that. yeah, I'm looking forward to see how GBP/GPY goes. USD CAD looks to be hitting entry soon as well. Let's look at some of the miners, see what we have here. Not a lot of trades yet. Or maybe we can see, because if you look, a lot of these trades, you know, they've been consolidating. And if we have a consolidation, there's really not much to do. We want to have a nice trendy market. So once we break out of here or out of there, we can expect some more movement. So a lot of the miners, they're right now they're consolidating. So once we see some more movement, once we see some of these breakouts, then we're going to see more trades. But if there's no trades, you know, if the algo doesn't show us any trades, it means there's no trades, and we don't want to be trading basically a bad market. So you can see global is sideways. So the RTD is saying this market is currently going sideways, and you can see it's been consolidating, and we don't want to trade those. We want to wait for a breakout. So that's what we're waiting for right now. AUD yen has had a breakout, which is waiting for it to go further down. We are in an overall downtrend. I think some of you are in this trade actually in the short. It's gone now, but yeah, you can keep it. Let me read some of these questions. I just started with BFT. I'm currently running paper trades. I'm subscribed to the BFT Navigator Pro plan. How long do you recommend before we go live? So you know, I would say once you know that this thing works, because sometimes it takes a few weeks to, it kind of depends when you come in. So if you come in at a really good time when the market is really good and you understand the strategy, then you can go live. Because if you follow the risk management, you're not going to blow up your account. The reason why we recommend go demo first is because then you can really feel the algorithm first and kind of see how it works. Because a lot of people think, you know, they just go live and then they just throw on a bunch of trades and then they blow their account. You know, we have to practice proper risk management, and you can kind of get a feel for risk management when you start trading on demo. So that's, I would say, once you've gone through a full month, that usually is a good kind of time frame to switch from demo to live, because then you've kind of go through some of the common mistakes, and then from there you can move into live. But as long as you know, don't over risk, so overexpose, don't open too many trades, see which ones are repeated, which ones are not, then there should be no problem going live. But it's good to start on demo for a month. After a month, you can go live. That's usually what I recommend. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Again, if sometimes, you know, we have slow months, some months that are faster. So again, if you get into a slow month, you might get less trades. Again, that's something we can't control. The algorithm is you know, built a certain way to only give you the highest and best probability of trades. But once you do get trades, it's important you guys put those on, because you know, if you only put on, let's say, you know, 1 out of the 5, you know, that 1 might be the loser and the other 4 might be the winner. So it's important you guys put on all the trades. Now I don't mean putting all the trades that are in the same currencies. I want to make sure that we're not overexposing, and we're not opening too many pairs, too many trades. Yeah, it's all in the handbook, so feel free to download the handbook and read it. Again, if you can download the handbook in the global chat or in the week 2 library. Is it possible to make trade future index? So we have indices available, and we're going to add more markets too. So we're always adding more markets as we go. The navigator is still fairly new, so we were able to add quite a bit already. The newest one being crypto, we added a bunch of crypto pairs. But yeah, we'll add more markets as we go. If you do have something, a specific instrument that we don't have yet, go to feedback.breakfreetrading.com, and then you can either upvote a market that has already been suggested, or you can enter your own market that you want to see added to the navigator. And we add things to the navigator, and we build things based on priority. So if we think it's a high priority, then we'll probably have a look at that. If not, then it might take a little longer. Does SimpleX work with MetaTrader 5? I believe it does. It should. Let me do a quick Google search for you. Let's have a look. It looks like they mainly focus on MT4, so you won't get MT5. But I mean, the difference isn't that big. I'm still on MT4 too. I prefer MT4 actually over MT5. The only thing is right now with the MetaTrader bridge on the navigator, you won't be able to use MT4, but that's going to change within probably the next few weeks. So you will be able to connect your MT4 account to the navigator too. And again, I'm still on MT4 too, so no issue. What do you think about AUD JPY? Let's have a look. You know, I think it still has good potential. So our entry or short entry, again, it's gone now, but our short entry was here. So you know, we still have a lot of room to go up a little more. but we are bearish, right? So you can see we kind of broke this trend here. We had this nice bearish momentum. Now we're going in for the retest. So I'm still expecting AUD to go further down. I had the chance to get out at break even here, but I didn't because I still believe in the trade, and it's really important we just let the trades run. So I'm probably going to just let this thing run either to stop loss or to TP. We can see the overall trend is still downtrending, and that's one of the main reasons why I didn't move to break even, because mainly I only move to break even if the trend changes. So you can see global, and global is what we want to look at for the strategy mode trades, is still downtrending. So as long as we're downtrending, we're gonna go further down. So there's no reason for me to move to break even. So I still think this trade has potential. It just takes a little more time to play out. So basically, once we are using X mode, we've defined the trades ourselves based on where the coordinates are, because it seems as if the trades are only found daily time frame. Yes. So strategy mode trades, those are trades we've put together that meet the criteria of a good trade. So we've made that to make trading really easy for you. But once you kind of get the hang of that, you want to learn more, then you can go into X mode. And X mode, that's exactly where you have to kind of build your own trading plan, right? With strategy mode, we give you exactly the plan that you need. This is how much you should risk. This is how to enter, how to exit. This is how to manage trades. When you're trading X mode, you have to do all that yourself. So you have to come up with the strategy yourself. But a lot of people, the more they use strategy mode alongside with X mode, so let's say daily time frame, and you got both strategy mode and X mode on, over time you're going to realize kind of how these trades come together and how they're put together, and then you're going to be able to make your own decisions on the low time frames with kind of using the same style we use on the daily time frame. So like I said, start with strategy mode, turn on X mode, get familiar with X mode on the daily time frame, take some trades and demo, see how it works out for you, and then you can slowly move into the lower time frame. If you really want to take your trading to the next level and kind of, let's say you start trading this year because you had more time, maybe you were at home because of COVID and stuff, you had more time, and you like trading, you enjoy trading, and you really want to turn this into like a full-time career, and you want to put in the work. You actually want to take this thing, basically take this thing by its grip and learn it from the ins and outs. And then we have the dojo where you can apply, and we kind of teach you how to become a day trader. So if you're ready for that step, we have the dojo. Again, it's not necessary for you to do. The dojo is just it's more for people who are more serious. If you just want to use trading as an investment to slowly grow your capital and still do other things on the side, strategy mode is really good. But if you do want to kind of become a full-time day trader, the dojo is really good for that. You don't need it. You can learn all that by yourself through trial and error. But if you do want to have someone that holds your hand and takes you through everything step by step, and the dojo is there for you as well. If I'm correct, no more than 3 open trades. 3 open trades is good. That's usually what I do. Sometimes I'll have 4, but usually when you get to 4 or more, then you kind of get to a point where you're overexposed. Even though the currencies might not be directly correlated, you do get to the point where you're a little overexposed. So I would say max 4, 3 is good. If you're getting it to 5 or 6, that's, in my personal opinion, that's too much. For the dojo, yeah, I'm running the dojos. We have, I think, almost 200 people in there. It's a really good community to be in. Lots of good-minded people. Yeah, if you want to see what people say, you can check out the interviews on YouTube if you want, or just ask in the global chat. Yeah, don't sign up for the dojo right away. The dojo is not going to run away, and there's no need for you to rush trading. The more you try to rush trading, the longer it'll kind of take you to get to your end goal. So I say, get comfortable strategy mode trade with these strategy mode trades for at least 2 weeks. And then if you already have some basic experience with trading, then the dojo is a good fit. If you're completely new, so you have no idea what support is, you have no idea what resistance is, you really don't know anything about trading yet, then the dojo might not be the best fit for you. It's more for people who already know the basics. Again, like the basics is how to put a trade on, knowing the difference between the candles and support and resistance and stuff like that. So like the basics. So once you know that, then you're ready for the dojo. Okay, but it's good to have that 2 weeks of experience with strategy mode first, because then you kind of learn the methodology we use in the dojo too, because we trade the same way with the limit orders, so waiting for price to come to us, etc. So it does help to kind of get familiar with the navigator, with the strategy mode trades. It's going to make the dojo a little easier. yeah, so yeah, no rush. What's important is that you're ready to learn and really put in some work. Again, it's not trading is not that easy, right? We make it really simple with BFT, but it's not that easy. You know, the biggest thing is just your emotions, your psychology. Even with strategy mode trades, right? With the ones on a daily, we give you really good trades, but if you can't manage your emotions, you know, it's not going to work for you. So that's what it comes down to, and that's something we can't control, at least right now. So yeah, that's the most important thing. What would you recommend for new traders to start strategy mode? You know, just dive in. So go through week 1, week 2 training. Just do as I tell you to do, and then just start taking these trades in a demo account. And then also make sure to ask a lot of questions in the global chat. So, you know, a lot of people, they think they do everything correctly, and then they're getting no results, and then they're wondering why this thing isn't working. Is because they're not doing it correctly. So if you have questions, if something doesn't make sense to you, or if you just want to confirm that you're doing everything right, just ask a question in the global chat. You know, someone's going to get back to you. Really good community there as well. So if you're ever struggling, if you need help, just ask in the global chat, and then people are going to help you. You know, because you know, and most likely the people that are helping you kind of went through the same thing. So just because you got a bad trade, you know, doesn't mean that it's not working. You know, it's a game of probabilities, and once you really accept that law of probability, that's where really where you get the biggest result. Yeah, so just dive in. You know, start with going through the training, set up your demo account, start taking some trades, and then just be patient, go through the process that everyone goes through, and then yeah, you're gonna have good results. But guys, any other questions? I was wondering, paying for membership with TradingView in order to do my charts, do you think it's necessary, or is BFT able to give me sufficient information for charting? So you know, I used to be a loyal TradingView member. That's what I used for my trading. So I'm a day trader, and I used to use TradingView. But then with the Navigator, you know, I canceled my TradingView subscription because there's no need for me to have that anymore. Because everything I need is right here. So I got my trend detection, I got my levels with the X mode, I got my candles, I got my watch list. I got everything I need. I don't need all these fancy tools the TradingView has. You know, they might look cool to have, like all the different like technical analysis tools, but it's stuff that you don't need. You want to keep it really simple and just focus on the price. We actually had a lot of tools in here to use, but you know, we said, let's take this stuff out. People don't need them. It's just going to confuse them more. So we only want to give you what you really need to be consistent in trading. Everything else, we just want to leave and just give you the good stuff. So what you see here, that's all you need. You know, TradingView is good. It has a lot of good stuff. It's a great company. But if you're with BFT, everything you see in the Navigator is everything you need. And the cool thing is, you know, if you're using MetaTrader, you can execute directly through the Navigator and copy the trades into your MetaTrader account. What do you think? Use better Mac or Windows? For trading, generally Windows is better because most trading platforms have more support for Windows. So Apple is a great device, great company. They build good stuff. But for trading, for some reason, a lot of the trading companies, they prefer Windows over Mac because I guess they can build better apps with it. But I mean, the Navigator in terms of BFT doesn't really matter. It works really good on either. And MetaTrader works well on Windows, but now that we have the Navigator bridge, so you can execute directly on your Navigator, now it doesn't matter anymore either. So at this point, Mac or Windows will be almost the same thing. I think it's okay. You just have to get this on strategy mode first, but I want to do a lot more than strategy. I started 2 weeks ago. Started up one pair and still in the red, EDGPY, but then I wonder how accurate this algo is. After a few days, you can no longer see the calculation of this pair. While you actually expect it to reach TP, what certain is there with this algo? So we're seeing, you know, if you're, let's say you're with BFT for a few months, because you can't make a decision on something with just one trade. That's not enough data, right? You need a full data set in order to make a decision. So most people, once they've actually done this a full cycle, which is more than a month, then the win rate is usually at 70%. You might, again, depending on the data you receive in that month, it might not be 70%. It might be higher, it might be lower, but the average we've seen so far is 70%. Again, you've only taken, I think it says one trade. Again, that's not enough data. Last week I closed at 5% in the last week of December. So my personal account, 5%, again, those are not guaranteed results. It's not typical performance. and it doesn't mean, you know, in the future we're going to guarantee or perform the same way. It's just what I had in my personal account. So it's just a matter of keep putting on the trades. Even if you get a loser, you have to keep putting on trades, because that next trade could be a winner. And the thing is with trading is, you know, you might go through a sequence of losers. So you might go through, you know, you could have a week when you just hit losers, and the next 4 weeks, next 6 weeks could all be winners. And we don't know when that sequence of losers or winners is going to come in. But what we know is that we have an edge in the market, and if we follow the rules and we keep executing on that edge, we're going to be in the green. And you know, if you want to outperform the banks, you know, you only need 2% a year. But if you want to outperform the market, you know, you only need 10 to 15% a year. And those are good returns, you know, and we can do that, you know, 10% a month, or, you know, 5% a month, even is good. So you got to look at the big picture and see, you know, this is definitely not a get rich quick scheme. It's a game of probabilities, and we're playing those probabilities with an edge in the market. And the edge is, that's what the X mode is in the strategy mode. So strategy mode is built on X mode, but again, you need a full data set in order for yourself to make a conclusion. I hope that helps. I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but yeah, that's my opinion. I as a beginner setting up with FT mode, you recommend we take large account like 100K. We start with a $10,000 account. Because of the dojo, I'm going to challenge FT mode. If you go through the dojo, then you can get the 50 or the 100K account. Right now, you shouldn't be doing anything. First, you have to become consistent. But yeah, once you're through the dojo, typically people take the 100K challenge. All the trades are either buy limit or sell limit. Yes, that's all we do, because you know, when you're entering with market executions, usually you're going to be buying resistance or selling support, which is really bad habit. And if we enter with market executions, we're not letting the market come to us. But with buy and sell limits, we're always letting the market come to us. So we're always going to get the best price. So for example, on GPY, you know, we got the entry here today, and you can see, you know, if we have a sell limit here, we can sell expensive, right? We can see price going up. We let the market come to us. And when it comes down, we can sell it, right? So the buy and sell limits, those are the best way to enter the market. You can always buy cheap and sell expensive. So it works really well. And most traders, they just, you know, use market execution, and with the limit orders, we're able to kind of trade against them. But yeah, this is the kind of the best and safest way to enter. And by the way, if you get into a trade, let's say GBP GPY, let's say you get into the short, you got into the short next day or 2 days after the signal disappears, that's okay. It's just the algo recalculated. It doesn't mean that the trade is now invalid. Just keep the trade on. You know, don't just close the trade or move to break even just because the trade is gone. The trade is still valid. So if it does get removed, just keep it on your app. And even with the limit orders, let's say you have a say euro yen, right? Let's say you have euro yen. There was a trade here a couple of days ago on euro yen for short. You put your sell limit here. You check back next week. The short entry is gone. What do you do? So don't remove your sell limits. You can keep your sell limits. The trade is still valid, and that's something that's going to be fixed in the future, where the signal is going to stay, and you can go back in a chart and actually see how many trades played out previously. But yeah, that's something for right now. If you do put on limits and they get removed from the navigator as a signal, then you can still keep those trades on. Now, let's say you're taking a short on euro yen and the global changes from downtrend to uptrend, at that point you can either remove your limits, or if you're in the trade, you can move to break even. Because if there is a trend change, then you want to get out at break even. Don't just close it. Just move your TPs to break even. And when price comes back to the level, then it'll get you out at break even. So, but yeah, for example, this trade, we had it on there last week. It's still valid. Just because the signal disappeared doesn't mean it's gone. So once you see a signal, put it on, and then just leave it, and then just make sure you're not overexposed. Do you use other indicators for if you start with scalping 50 minutes? No, I just use my RTD. So I look at my local trend. My local is what I use for the low time frames. So if I'm trading 50 minutes, I want to make sure if I'm selling, local is down. If I'm buying, local is up, and then I just use my levels, my X-mode levels. How long have you been trading, Nicola? Okay, cool. 1 month. Yeah, I would say it's a little too soon for the 50 minute. Trading, you don't want to rush it. So just take it easy, take it slow. The more you try to rush it, the harder it'll be. Really, what I suggest is go through the strategy mode trades with X mode and see kind of what patterns you can find on how they're put together. It's gonna be fun for you. And then what you can do is go through backtesting. So just go through, this is really the quickest way to learn a strategy. You just open up your replay and then just backtest on the chart, and then just take trades based on what you see. If you want, you can look at the US 30 video. So if you on a YouTube channel, if you look for the US 30 video, you can find me doing some of that if you want to have a look. And then that's where I also explain the X mode. Yeah, 1 month. I would say if you guys are serious now, maybe look into the dojo. Again, I don't want to sell you on it. They only do it when you really want to work and you're ready to put in the work. So if you're around the 2 months mark, then that's where you should have enough experience to kind of tackle that if you do want to become a full-time trader. Because like for me, when I started trading, what people now learn in the dojo in let's say 3 months or 2 months, even 1 month, it took me almost 5 years. So everything I've learned in 5 years, I've condensed into this training that people now go through. So, we have people in the first year of trading getting a live funded account from a prop firm, from 100 grand to 300 grand. Last month we had, I think, 3 or 4 people get. I think 3 people get fully funded accounts. And if you can get that, over time it's going to be life changing. It's not going to be right away, but when you can start trading that account, 10% on 100 grand, that's 10K. And if you can keep 70%, that's 7 grand in your pocket. So, it makes life is easier when you have the right people to learn from. But again, it's only for the people who really want to put in the work. Do you guys have any other questions about strategy mode, BFT, anything you guys want to know? Were you guys able to set up your bridge, navigator bridge? Dominic, you're not ready for FTMO. It's only been a month. You got to take it slow. Yeah, I mean it'll be added soon. FTMO it's just another broker, so it just needs to be added. Right now we're just focusing on the more popular ones, but yeah, I'm sure eventually we'll add FTMO too. And then make sure you pass the free trial at least twice before doing the challenge. If you can pass the free trial twice, then you're ready for the challenge. All right, guys, any other questions? It looks like they've been having some issues with your servers, eh? Heard that quite a bit now. It's all good. They're gonna figure it out. They just moved to a new server. I'm guessing that's why. All right, guys, thanks for joining today's session. Again, if you guys have questions throughout the week, you can put them into the global chat or just join next week's session. And make sure to watch the weekly market review every Monday on the YouTube. And yeah, if there's any new trades that come up and you have questions about it, you can put them in the global chat or join next week's call. Let's say you take some trades this week or next week and you're not sure how they're going, you're confused, you don't know if you're in the right trades. You can always join these calls and we can go through any trades you guys have. Especially in your first month, you're gonna join these and ask questions. Make sure you're doing everything correct. Again, it does help a lot, and we can avoid a lot of kind of newbie mistakes or like rookie or like beginner mistakes, however you want to call them. So yeah, it's helpful. We give this to you guys as a bonus in your subscription. So it's there for you guys to use it. So yeah, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next week's call if you guys need it. And yeah, my name is Patrick. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.